So, if you're seeing this on YouTube, that means this is a PB. Who's number one time? Number one time is 36 minutes 59, which is incredibly, like, how do you do that? I don't understand how you could do that. But yeah, that is the world record time. I'm not gonna get close to 36s. Like, my goal is try to get sub 38. I know it's possible if I get lucky and I don't do dumb. But yeah, let's try. This is my first run in a few days, so I'll be very rusty. I'm trying to get this short hallway because it's an easy time save. God damn it. Ah, I forgot to... Right, I forgot to just do skip, right? Yeah, I'm dumb. Hey, man, this is really bad RNG to start off this bloody game. Come on, please. Give me the hallway. God damn. We've been here a while already. Oh my god. This is really bad RNG. I'm just very sad. Yeah. Oh my days. There we go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes,
Truly a room worth admiring.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Stanley had not gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had become just so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had become just so far off the beaten path
So,
that it seemed the office had
You
become.
didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording?
it was all in
just
Stanley's head.
I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be
It's
so
so simple to be you.
Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand.
Days.
Someone was following Stanley, but Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.
So it
He had
was.
to make a decision. What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No.
Probably
When Stanley came
110.
to a set of 2 open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes.
This room.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley left from the platform at
Oh, 10-minute time loss. Gamer.
the
Unfortunate.
meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again. Oh, new content. What does that mean? New content.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
As you may know,
the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013
on home computers.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please step inside and see what
thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
that
This
sounds
sounds
delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere? Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if them... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Nah, that's annoying.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else.
Ah.
Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what
It's
passes for
elevators and
exciting new
jumping.
content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there.
Right
Now,
there.
I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more.
There's more.
Very good.
Very
Yes.
good.
I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
There we go.
That's it?
Oh,
Oh,
you
you've
gotta be kidding me,
You see,
Stanley.
This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now
at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What kind of... That's the word. I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and
I intend to find these people on Twitter
and hold them personally accountable.
It's my fault, Stanley.
That's another 3-4 second time loss. I messed up the jump storage.
If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks, just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Yeah. Unfortunate. Whatever, it's fine.
Psst. Stanley!
Over here, in the vent. I want to show you something. Technically, here's when I can recover. I can recover this
The
run.
new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be. Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just
A little
our
secret.
little secret.
Take a look. I call it the memory zone.
It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from
Destructoid.com.
James
Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote,
"Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original
Stanley Parable was. It was
literally
literally every game.
ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content. Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable,
so
surprisingly
15-second
rewarding
time save
choices
here
I've ever
because
been
I
confronted
messed
with
up
again.
the skip.
9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley?
Hopefully
The
I don't
game
mess it
was
up this time.
perfect. It didn't need anything else.
Good,
It
we'll
didn't
try.
need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed halls of beloved video game memories. These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again.
Poggers, we got it. We got it.
The narrator is obnoxious and
Gamer moment.
funny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could
Let's
write up a handful
go.
of gags to insert into the Stanley parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web. Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying.
Let's
That's
go.
preachy. Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. I always would. To be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator
Lovely.
can catch up with
That
his
was clean.
long,
Very, very
rude
clean. I
explanations
can
of
make
what's
time back
happened.
here.
I wish there was a skip button.
What's the world record? Yeah, I'm a second away from world record in this split.
Yes, I think
On
we
my
can do
best,
that.
at least,
If I'm
so
truly too preachy, then
I can get back on
maybe
track
we can
here.
Skip ahead for just a moment. Surely it couldn't.
I believe. Let's go,
Not if it
fighting.
means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer. And here it is. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue.
Well, there's sport.
You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45... Stanley, please don't push the button again.
It's been 12 hours.
You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks.
What's my average look like? I'm faster than my average, that's good to know.
Hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about...
Yeah, okay. My PB in this split was actually slower than my average in this split, which is understandable because I messed up the jump at like 5-6 times. I messed up the memory zone jump, the first skip. But it's okay, we moved. We moved and we have potential to get back ahead of
But they didn't
PB.
understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the
human condition.
But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoan, they scream, they knack. The end is never the end, is never the end.
It's never the end, 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 it's never the... Okay, now there's a bit of water inside the building. Then building broken into, with a water leak. Now sun's out. I just find it really cool how like this whole thing of like overgrown plants going into this like bunker place happens. I think it's just really cool how like nature reclaims land and stuff like that over time. It seems very cool. Okay, after this I gotta go backwards. Lovely. There we go. Ooh, that could be like a 42 maybe. I don't think that's a gold. It's too far away to be a gold. Oh, the two song tracks playing at the same time. That's a bit confusing. That doesn't sound right. Oh my god, it is a fucking gold.
All of his collections were gone. What could it be?
Crazy.
Stanley decided
You're
to go
back
to the
ahead of
meeting
PB,
room. Perhaps
gamers.
he
Let's
simply missed a
go.
memo. Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I
How?
have something very
How?
exciting to show
How? How did that gold? That doesn't make sense. That makes no sense. How did that gold? I should not have golded. It wasn't good enough for a gold. That was not good enough for a gold. I don't
you.
know.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable
Crazy.
and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever
The Stanley Parable 2. Okay, so this is where I can lose time because I messed up the skip. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Measly re-release with a few minor additions. Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience built from the ground up. Why
Oh,
there's so many
fuck hell.
possibilities?
Ah.
It could go in so many different directions.
Blanked out,
This
not
is
good.
what fans have truly been asking for. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement, right? Oh goodness, Stanley, this is very awkward. I hate to do that. No? You're just going to ignore my advice? Fine. No fun new content for you then. You're the one who spent money on this game.
Fuck's sake. Everyone's dead.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how
God
exactly
damn.
these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres
I
into
have
a meaningful gameplay experience.
15 jumps left, so I wasted 5 there.
Okay. Collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay.
Okay.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This
Come
isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they wouldn't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait.
Maybe that's
Maybe
it.
that's it. I can
Take the original Stanley Parable and, well,
well,
insert a few of my changes. Tastefully, of course.
with respect.
with care for the vision and integrity of the original game.
Will it possibly work?
I suppose it could.
Suppose it
but
could.
It made a really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising.
Yeah, look at the title loss. Here he comes.
This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up.
Anger.
All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Paul, we got it. Yeah.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Nice.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Oh my god, I didn't go back. God damn it. Fuck's sake.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to
just let the narrator talk.
That kind of anxiety
Isn't healthy.
so he relaxed for a few moments with some
Calming new age music. I can still make time back. I think we're good. I think we're good.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway. When Stanley came to
Oh my god, let's go.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art, but eager to get back to business,
Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
So come on. Speed.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. And there it is.
There we go. Time save.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines, those figures. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but would you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines just one more time. Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley. And here was a second Stanlerine. I'll be honest, back then
I'm not gonna do the shortcut. I don't have faith in my skills.
But you
to do it.
to surprise me in all sorts of mundane,
I need to do it to
unremarkable
get closer to world record because it saves, I think,
Okay,
10,
let's
15
do a little
seconds
quiz.
perhaps.
Which of these
I haven't
was the
timed it.
room you found your
10
first
seconds.
mini stand? Can you remember? Hey, that's exactly right. It was here in
Could
the
you skip
boss's
this talk?
bathroom. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them.
I just don't.
I'm glad
I
these
don't.
moments are
If
so
the run is
close to
really
the
bad,
clear
I'll
memory,
just
but
practice
I
it.
shouldn't
But
be
this
surprised.
run is
After
has
all,
potential.
Science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything. Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a figure in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone. So
What must have happened?
this was the 5th mini stand, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Yeah, look at the time loss. I lost 20 seconds to world record. I think he got short hallways. He kept resetting to get short hallways in all 3 attempts, and that's where his time gain is. Could you save about 27 seconds? Like, best case scenario, you save 27 seconds if you get blue all the time. I only got it once there, which is unfortunate, but yeah, it's RNG.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else. And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors.
Red and
This
blue
memory is the most
doors.
distinctly clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself,
Yes, that's all of them. They're all collected.
it was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like. And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing
Left to
do
move
but
and move on into the future. Goodbye, memory zone. There you go.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See
See how that feels.
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going, I want more. And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched? Yes, I love that video. still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room. These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Next one.
This was our second figure. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? This is it, the very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figlarines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
9 jumps left. Okay.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then. The time does. Oh, yes!
The two doors!
Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one. And before
There you go.
everything else, there was your...
Ooh, that felt good, but ooh, I don't know. I don't think it's a PB. There were a few parts where I walked into a bit of wall.
Something I feel I can remember.
I guess my movement could have been cleaner, but we'll see how it goes.
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each...
There you go. Dun, 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 dun. Where's this track? This is weird. Ooh, this is a really synthwave track. Oh my god. Jesus. Wow. Oh my fucking god. How the fuck? How the... How the... Oh my god, what could have been? What could have been if I didn't mess up the exhibit jump? I need to practice that still. I need to like watch back my runs and world record runs and figure out what am I doing wrong. Because I think it has to be something to do with... I might need like momentum before I crouch. I can't just jump up and then try to crouch because I have no, you know, movement, no momentum. So I think I need to run up to that wall. I have to run up to it and then crouch at the right time to actually mount the wall. I need to rewatch back because like I wasted 5 attempts on it, and I think I need to like sit back and just learn it properly. I just review what I did and try to, you know, brainwash myself to do that same strat over and over again. Otherwise, I'm throwing away time when I really shouldn't be throwing away time. So after the windstorm, there's 2 more stuff, and then I'll have to start walking. Fat finger that. Hopefully the live splits look better. I've adjusted the ultra key settings so that the numbers still have that black border around it to make it a bit more clear to read, because that was one of the issues I had looking back at my PB run, that I couldn't render properly. I changed up with the gradients. I changed up the settings a bit, and it made everything look like semi-transparent, and it looked kind of ugly. But here we go. There you go, just to get those out of the way, because they have hitboxes. Back into the office. There's the 2 doors back there. Let's go! Let's go! We love that. We love to see that. The bomb. Let's go. What a run. What a run.